Hello everybody, it's Hidesh, bringing you Game 3 of the 23rd RyuOu title match. Now, you all know how important this title match is for professional Shogi history. I remember 2 years ago, these guys, Habu and Watanabe, they played a great RyuOu title match, 21st RyuOu title match, starting from France. And they both fought for the first permanent RyuOu. And, it was a great turnover. After 3 losses and then 4 wins, Watanabe took the first permanent RyuOu. And, Habu couldn't get the permanent RyuOu. Also, permanent Grand Slam, in other words, permanent 7 crowns. So, about 2 years have passed and Habu came here again as a challenger. So, we're going to have another very great title match. Habu is still going for his permanent Grand Slam now. But, so far, the win count is very good for Watanabe. He got 2 wins so far. So is Habu gonna have to make 3 losses and then 4 wins? I don't think so. He's going for a win in this game. So let's see if he does that. Yeah, so black is Watanabe and white is Habu. So black play pawn to 7f, 3d, 2f, and 8d. Probably going for side pawn picker opening. Black play pawn to 2e. Alright, now, Watanabe was born in 1984, taught by 7th Dan Kazuharu Shogi, and became professional in 1997. He's been holding RyuOu title for 6 terms, and total result is 347 wins, 161 losses, that's 68.3%. Right now, white play pawn at 8e. Okay, Habu was born in 1970. Taught by 9th Dan Tatsuya Futakami, became professional in 1985. Total title acquisition 78 terms. Total win count 1,119 wins and 428 losses. That's 72.3%. Okay, now black played gold to 7h, white played gold to 3b. Okay, so obviously side pawn picker opening, pawn to 2d, pawn takes, rook takes, pawn to 8f, pawn takes, rook takes, and pawn takes 3d, side pawn picker. Okay, bishop 3c defense, very common variation in side pawn picker. So, okay, rook to 3f, 0 2b, okay, pawn to 8g, and rook to 8e. So he's going for a rook to 8e strategy. Okay, white can now swing the rook over to 2e, so black plays rook to 2f. King to 4a, going for Nakahara's king. So black plays go to 5h, silver 6b, gold 3h. So black is obviously not using new Yamazaki style here. Okay, go to 5a, Nakahara's king, and pawn to 3f, opening the way for the knight to develop. Okay, white that's the 2, and knight 3g, and knight develops to 7c. Okay, silver 4h. Okay, now pawn to 2e. Black should not take with the knight because white can, for example, exchange the bishop and the knight is dead. Nor can he take the rook because it's going to be the same thing after rook takes, knight takes. So black goes back to Black goes back to 2i. Now white then goes for the 7th file, pawn to 7e. Okay, so black kind of chooses a interesting variation here. Pawn to 6f, closing the bishop's diagonal. So this means if white goes ahead taking this pawn, black can take this knight. So what white does is just rook to 8d, now threatening to take out the pawn in the next move. So black has to take the 7e pawn now, but white's plan is to go for the 6th file, pawn to 6d, going for this file. And notice that there is this weak diagonal for this king, but also it generates this weak diagonal for the king. So kind of very interesting position here. So 0 to 6h, preparing for the attack on the 6th file, but white goes ahead, 6th pawn to 6e. Well, taking it is pretty dangerous, for taking it. There are pretty of attacks. Bishop check, bishop diagonals open. White can make a dangling pawn on 6th file, for example here. So not very comfortable. Sorry, my baby's crying. So black plays silver to 6g. Okay, now the question is white gonna now attack? No. He showed us very interesting. King's move to 3-8 calmly. Now it gets away of this dangerous diagonal. And then he will now attack in the next move, maybe. So black plays pawn to 4f. Well, this is a big move too, because the king is now very has a wider area to go on. All right, now at this position, what makes an interesting move? Pawn push to 2f. Okay, now black basically cannot take this because it goes into this diagonal. So if the rook takes, and then white can go for this 6f square, and maybe black's camp will be in a disaster. So black couldn't take it. So silver to 4g, and then he played pawn to 7f. Okay, black has to take it, and rook takes. Yeah, well, we also thought he would then go for this file, exchange the bishop, and then go ahead, attacking the silver. But you know, this rook is defending it, so basically it's not forking. So silver goes back and rook goes back, something like that. So that's why black couldn't take this pawn. That's another reason. But what Habu did is he simply took the pawn with the rook. So what if pawn drop, for example? If the rook goes back, it's just losing moves. But maybe he was going to take this pawn now, for example, because takes, and the gold cannot take this, right? The bishop will fall, so it has to take with the king, and well, pretty hard for black. Maybe, I don't know. Or you know, pawn drop, I don't know. So anyway, you know, black didn't drop a pawn here. Watanabe played bishop to 7g. Well, this time, you know, taking the rook here with the bishop makes this harsh attack on this diagonal. So black can then open this pawn, or you know, pawn drop on 6c later on. So this time, yeah, Habu has to draw the rook back to 8d. Okay, so pawn drop 2. Well, this is a seal move, and that was pawn drop on 8h, not on 8g, because it closes this bishop's diagonal too. So then white goes for the 6th file. Takes, bishop takes, and he just simply took it. Silver takes, and another bishop drop on 3c. Basically, black has to defend with a pawn, but then pawn drop, silver goes back, and then he sacks the bishop. Okay, now the problem for pawn on 8h is that he can't take with the gold, so he has to take with the knight, and pawn drop, yes, of course. So white has lost material here, but he's going to get another knight. Okay, but from here, Watanabe goes for a very harsh attack. He first dropped the bishop to 9, attacking the rook. Okay, rook runs to 9d, attacking the bishop. So probably we thought black will push the pawn, and still not so easy for white. It's still okay. Oh, sorry, maybe take with the bishop. I don't know. But anyway, we thought it was pawn to 9f. But Watanabe went even more aggressively. Maybe he saw a win at this position. He went for the knight. Bishop takes the knight and 7c. Okay, this is very interesting. If white takes the knight, black can ignore it and take the silver, and white now has to take it, and then gold takes. Pretty difficult position for white. So he can't take the knight now. So white calmly recaptured it, but this knight can get away to 6c attack in the silver. Okay, very cool. So instead of simply saving the silver now, black makes a very good in-between move, sack, pawn to 7g, takes, and then silver to 6d, because now black cannot drop a bishop here, which was a plan if he simply moves this silver, because now this will be a fork of these two pieces. So that's the point of this pawn sack. So Watanabe thought it wasn't as good as he expected, so he maybe thought went for even harsher attack. He chose this line, knight seconds 5c, letting the silver take it, and he just dropped the bishop here, forking the gold in the lance, and but silver did 4b and takes the lance and makes a very good horse. Maybe he later on wants to activate here 5e or something like that. But look at this nice defense, and see how this silver can eventually get to here, from here maybe, to make a very great castle. So it's still a difficult position. Okay, now silver to 2g, very obvious attack. He took with the gold, pawn takes, rook takes, and then knight to 6c, gold runs, and gold up on the 7g. Okay, pretty many options for black. He can, even go for lance drop. The problem for white is he doesn't have a pawn. He's a pawn shortage, and black has so many pawns. So, he can't block the lance attack, or even here. This rook's defense is great, so black can drop a knight directly here, but maybe he can drop it here. And if this gets slow, black has so many pawns, so white has to go for harsh attack. But anyway, black chose this line, horse to 5e. Well, this is also great. Attacking here, attacking the knight, right? So white has two options: taking the pawn and then take the gold, which gets him a very precious one pawn, but gives the turn to play for black. So he played simply gold to 7h. So the question for black is, should he go attacking, just keep attacking, or should he take the knight? Well, he chose to take the knight. Still better for black, I guess. Okay, so gold to 7g, a calm move. Well, what he's trying to do in the next move, I can see that he's going to sack this, and bishop fork. That's his plan. Well, maybe black can run, but not a very comfortable position. So black has to do something about it. And what he did was lance drop on 2i. Okay, there's a proverb. Lance at the bottom rank must be a good move. Okay, now he's even threatening to sack the rook anytime, because there might be a mate, and also stopping that fork from getting this rook for free. He's protected with the lance. Okay, now white played rook to 8d now. So black has to put the pawn up to 8g. Okay, white has this move, bishop drop on 7f, blocking this horse's defense and also attacking here. So black basically has to now take it, and gold takes. Still attacking here, and the rook is attacking here. So this was a turning point for black. Now what he could do? Well, one good move that thought to be here in a post-game discussion, it was bishop drop on 4e, attacking this square and also protecting this square. And probably this is a threat made, I guess, like sacking. And the problem is black can't run to this way because this bishop is covering that square. So kind of threat made, and also protects here. But white's very cool attack is sacking the gold. And if king takes, that bishop fork, and he can take out the attacker rook. And if it takes the bishop, well, he got a pawn now. He can go attacking here, for example, because this horse is no longer, this bishop is no longer covering this 60 squares, so it's not a threat made for white's king. or also then calmly blocking this with a pawn, right? Still attacking this pawn, right? So kind of interesting. And black was thinking about silver to 3c would be a very good defense here, but pawn drop, and if he sacks the bishop first, and white has this attack to this drawing this king in this diagonal, but king runs and it's still good for black. So maybe bishop drop on 4e was a very good option, but what he did was silver drop and 7h. Well, maybe knight drop was actually better to protect this square, but he chose silver. Maybe thought he can just make this white's attack run out and then go for white's king. But the next move was magical. He played gold to 70, steady move to draw the gold back and just takes the precious pawn here. Well, when I saw this move, I was just watching the live on iPhone and I was only seeing the board, but the instant I saw this move, I was kind of scared. I could just see some quiet but furious fighting spirit inside of Habu, even though I wasn't seeing the scene at all. So I was kind of scared, and I even foreseen something's gonna happen from here, and my instinct was correct. From this position, by this move, the momentum has shifted to a great deal, and Watanabe felt that fear too. Maybe he thought for more than 25 minutes, very long for the end game, and he decided to go knight to 3e, just going for attack. But now I can calmly drop the pawn to 2c. Black then played bishop 4e, but yeah, this was the move. Rook to 2d, offering rook trade. It's not a good decision for black to accept it, so pawn drop. And rook to 7d, indirectly attacking the silver. And look at this second file. It's blocked with his own pawn. So black promoted bishop to 6c. Now it's not only simply attacking the rook as the next move. It's threatening to drop a pawn, which wins the gold for free. But white has a preparation for that. Bishop drop on 7i. Well, this is a great move because if black doesn't do anything about it, what happens in the next move? Gold to 6f. Discovery attack on the silver, and kind of a threat made here. Great. So black has to drop a pawn now, but bishop promotes this 7h, losing the gold, but then recapturing it, attacking the silver. Okay, black tries to get initiative, dropping a pawn. Rook takes and drop a pawn, but the horse takes. Well, at this position, black had a defense of this knight, blocking the horse and attacking the rook. And if rook runs, maybe pawn drop. He takes. Okay, takes. I don't know, maybe attacking here. So kind of difficult position. But white chose to go for the attack. He played pawn to 2d now. But now the horse sacks here. King takes and rook takes the silver. So kind of threat mate. And if a gold defense, this silver will be decisive. But black thought rook to 2h defends it. But it wasn't, because after taking it, Habu played rook to 2i, and black's king is not in the threat mate yet. White's king is not in the threat mate yet. So, actually, a turnover has occurred here. Okay, gold drop. He took the lance. Gold to 3h, attacking the dragon, asking the dragon to get this one or this one. But he didn't either of them. Dragon to 2i. Knight drop. 3a, keeping this option of taking the gold. He didn't want to take the lance, and even he keeps the defense on the second file. This was great. So then lands are up on 6a. Proverb, approach the king by surrounding him. So horse goes back to here, protecting this pawn, but calmly a pawn drop. Okay, if the horse stays on this diagonal, maybe another pawn drop, and if runs, maybe attacking the silver. With the silver, so he played now horse to 8f, so lands promotes, and then okay, now what is going to happen in the next move is dragon sack, followed by a gold drop checkmate. So he played bishop drop on 1f, preparing to recapture it with the bishop, but pawn drop, blocking the horse. It's a threat mate starting from silver drop, so pawn drop, but promote lands comes over. You know, the dragon anytime sack. So horse takes a pawn now, but pawn drop. Because if takes, and then white can block it again. So horse is 6f, attacking the lands, but then he took out the gold on 3h. And this was decisive. Even if takes, well, it's a win for white. He can drop and promote, which is a threat that can take the silver, or even he can play slowly by taking out this knight, and black's attacks on the run out anyway. So yeah, he took this dragon with the bishop, but silver drop on 5h, and seeing this move, Watanabe finally resigned. Well, after this is a simple checkmate. Gold drop takes, okay, takes, drop, and a silver drop. So what a great move. Gold takes 70, a pawn, taking a pawn. Well, a proverb, one pawn is worth 1,000 golds. So it was a great game. Now Habu took one game, and the win count is 2 for Watanabe and 1 for Habu. Well, it's gonna be a very exciting title match to go on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's look forward to the 4th game now. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.